I believe we do indeed have a Puppey on the line. Puppey, congratulations on this Game 2 victory. You may have already spoken about this, but this is the first time we've had you on the mainstream. So question on my mind is, how'd you come across FBZ? I got a chance to read your interview where you spoke highly of Boom and said it's a shame that it didn't work out in the end. But what was the discovery process for getting another S.E.A. offlaner?
I've been frequently playing with the S.E.A. players, so it's a thing that I will constantly tap my mind into to get some sea dogs in my games, And I mean, to be fair, he's a very good offlaner, and he was kind of available. And since I was looking for offlaners, he was kind of one of the better choices, and I think I just went with it.
So then you do have a history of playing in Southeast Asia. Have you ever considered importing from, I guess, what regions have you not played with?
The NA.
Okay, so NA, you at least have a history with like Artur and Universe, and so Secret's had NA players. Has Secret ever had a South American player?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, how about a Chinese player?
I played with Emperor's 2 male, so...
Oh, of course.
Counts.
A little balance from everything. Okay, well, it's so far working out for you. I don't know if you're able to see this far into the future, but is this the roster that you will be expecting to keep for TI qualifiers, or you don't know yet?
I think most likely this is going to be the roster. And honestly, we're very close to beating teams 2-0 all the time. And I think when we start beating teams, we do it quite confidently. And, I think we just need to iron out some more things, and then it's going to be more 2-0s. Hopefully they're going to happen in the next 3 matches. That means we're, going through the group stages, and that's about it.
Yeah, and then after that, when it's 3-game series, then you have a little bit more wiggle room. But for right now, shooting for 2-0s, Sheepstick, anything on your mind for Puppey?
Of course. Wonderful Chen performance after the laning stage. I'm curious how you decide what creeps it is that you want to have in a game as Chen, because we've seen like the aura stacking Chens, and then you went for like the skeleton bros this game. What is your thoughts?
Usually it's when I think my creeps will die or not. And practically when I'm playing against Clinks or something like that, I'm never going to get any big creeps because he's just going to eat them and it's going to be pointless. But so I'm going to stack up auras to make him feel inferior for team fights, let's say. But this game they have Lich, they have Bounty Hunter, they have Monkey King who doesn't really do AoE damage. Not necessarily, he's going to be using ulti on some cores. And Wind Ranger also is not an AoE hero, so I find it pretty important that I can get some big creeps. Trolls are the best because I can kill Roshan's towers, and any team fight that we win, we can just turn into a Rax. And even if like the Lich uses ultimate in the middle of the fight and they just go into like 4 skeletons, it's already pretty desperate. This despair, I would say, for Lich. So that's kind of how I think, at least for now.
That's very insightful, thank you. And also, obviously, when there's a new patch, like the big one, just rewinding a bit, how does like the warding game evolve over time on a new map? Like how hard is it at the beginning to kind of like figure out where you want to place your vision, and then does that get easier, or like do you still feel like there's like shit tons more like wards to explore?
Yeah, there's a lot of wards to explore, I would say. And I'm not sure if the end game will be something different than what it was before, because what the end game usually is that everybody just starts placing uphill wards and just chilling on them, and controlling those areas, and that's going to be it. And I think it might just turn into that type of meta regardless, because when you watch like let's say Gaming Gladiators replays, you will have a certain good ward that you can see that is not a usual one. But most of the time, they're just placing it uphill and just kind of like controlling the area, or knowing enough information that if somebody goes there and dewards it, they're going to take Roshan or a tower or some other area, because they play very fast and you don't really have much time to deal with the dewarding.
One quick follow-up on that. Whenever you do explore wards on a new map, do you just go into a lobby and then just like hover this little blue circle around and you're like, oh, this one looks good? What's your method for finding new wards?
Yeah, I think everybody does that, hopefully. but you do it like once in a while because the map changes a little bit sometimes. But overall, you just check all the squares, the opposite sides of the map. You see if you can put some uphill tinker wards. Then you check all the weirdo places where there's hills and stuff, and you check all those areas. And after you've done your research on finding bugs basically in the game, you will start checking if like the usual sentry wards that people place to see if you can clutch a ward where they will not find it, and so on.
And then do you miss when Quelling Blade was super viable on support, so you could cut down weird trees for new wards?
Yeah, I mean, didn't you used to be able to Quelling Blade wards also?
Yeah.
That was a fun time. That was a fun time when I'm trying to de-ward some bounty hunter sentry ward and he just cullings it like that and Tango eats it like that or whatever. That was bad, actually. That was horrible. Whoever thought about it should be fired.
Well, it's gone now, so no worries. Kazu, anything
He got
else?
fired.
He got fired,
Probably did.
exactly.
Oh no.
All right, what up, Klimo? I have a question about your most recent roster swap. What were you looking to specifically get out of it? Like, was it something that Boom didn't have in your mind that you were hoping FPZ would bring? Like, is it laning or is it playmaking, more aggressiveness? Anything like that specific?
I mean, that's a loaded question. You're gonna flame people like that on
No.
TV screen, man? Come on.
I'm just looking for
Puppey
an answer.
flaming?
I mean-
Perish the thought.
What? I will never flame anybody, man. What are you talking about? Anyway,
You have a good answer for me, I'm
at
sure.
At least a simple answer would be like this. Boom is not an offlane player, right?
Sure.
And we couldn't really get anybody on the offlane that would fit the description or, make it basically feel good enough for us to think that we will win TI.
Mhm.
And I like Boom as a guy a lot. And it's, he's really nice to work with, but he wasn't that confident on his offlane, I would say. And not in the sense like he's not confident, but he might have just lacked a lot of tricks,
Mhm.
which
And time, maybe.
usually offlaners do have. And maybe it's like a natural thing that offlaners have. They search for these weirdo things, or they know exactly what's necessary to be done, and they don't question themselves. Because I
Yeah.
feel like when you swap roles, you do question yourself a lot. Like, oh, is this good? You have to learn a lot, and I think it takes too much time. And I don't think time was of the essence at this point.
Of course. Okay, and then when it comes to game one of this series, you guys picked the Timber Lich in the second phase. Well, I thought you would maybe pick Chen. Were you playing with that idea at all? I thought it would have been really good against the heroes that they did have. Like some slow and chip damage and, some summons against bounty.
Yeah, we could have done it also the first game. It's just, I think we were aiming to pick Timbersaw, but that was actually maybe a bad approach in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody in their right mind will pick Chen into Bounty Hunter because that would be pretty rough. But at least, because Bounty Hunter is good against Chen, but in the sense of if they have to answer you Chen with Bounty Hunter, it's a little bit different, I think. It's like, okay, that's the approach. So maybe I wasn't really looking to play against Bounty Hunter because I would kind of give him a free lane for no reason.
So do you think it's more about so he's good against you in lane, but then later how team fights and the heal works, does it offset that matchup at all? Or do you think Bounty's just straight up good against Chen?
I think it's enough to win lanes and snowball with Bounty Hunter to make Chen irrelevant.
Okay, got it.
And it's a skill diff if he fucks up the lane.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you.
A lot of people talk about, the support doing the wrong thing in lane and the carries complaining about the supports. But on a hero like Chen, I find that you guys are always doing something different because you basically, whatever creep you get is going to decide how you play the lane, how much you're in the lane, all that kind of stuff. So what's like the most common mistake you have your carries do in pubs that you're just like, oh, here we go again. I'm playing Chen and they're doing this again?
I think most of the time when people start overestimating, I think mostly people tilt when I have Chen on my lane. Like people have Chen on their lane because they want some kind of lich, let's say. They want some kind of a hero that uses spells. I want my Crystal Maiden to be on my lane, But to be fair, Chen is just a time bomb, You just sit on the lane and you hit like a tower, and it's fine. And then when you get mad that, you know, some range creep gets taken away from you, just relax, you know, like, but people see range creeps getting denied because Chen cannot steal it, or, you know, they can't fight it or something like that. And then they start tilting and start fighting the enemy and then dying and saying Chen useless hero. So that's usually what happens. But Chen is literally just like a hero that just sits there and hits the enemy. And once level 3 or something like that happens, the game starts snowballing for your team. It's a team player hero. It's not a lane dominant hero.
I like that answer. Thank you.
Yes, I can very much sympathize with the range creep denial thing. Infuriating carry players. Just gotta be patient, though. Puppey, thank you very much for the interview, and hopefully nothing but 2-0s from here on out for Team Secret.
Nothing but 2-0s. Thanks, dude. Laters.
Later.
Bye.